Hi, welcome back to my dad's video. Hi, welcome back to my dad's channel. I'm Ailey, this is Savi, and we'll be taking it from here. Sorry. Or at least I will. Now that we're here, let me tell you a little bit about my dad. He only speaks English, he's not very good at the violin, and he once got his thumb stuck in a coffee mug. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video.
Hello, welcome back to Road to Release. Thanks to Ailey who introduced today's video. I thought it'd be nice to see a fresh face, and she has a puppy, and who doesn't love puppies? Everyone loves puppies. Today's episode is called A Man's Gotta Have a Plan. Now, I hate plans. In fact, I find them horrid, restrictive, rigid, cages. In fact, if I had a philosophy, it would probably be you wing it till you win it. Now, admittedly, that's never actually worked in any circumstances in my life that I can remember. And it certainly wasn't working for this project. And so recently I've just sat down and I'm going, okay, I need to come up with a plan. Otherwise this thing's going to be just stuck here, burning rubber, spinning your wheels, whatever you want to say, forever. So I actually sat down, and what I did was I kind of asked myself three big questions. I asked myself the why, the what, and the how. The why, what, how. I call it the why, what, how. So firstly, I asked myself the big question of why. Why am I doing this project in the first place? And it's not because I think that it's going to generate a whole bunch of income and I'm going to be able to, retire early and live off my my earnings from streams or whatnot. If my last EP that I've released is anything to go by, and my 7 monthly listeners on Spotify, and my current $3.68 revenue that I've accumulated over the last 6 months, I don't think that is actually going to really help that retirement plan. And it's not for fame. In fact, I don't desire fame at all. It actually gives me anxiety even just thinking about it. So they're not the reasons that I'm doing this. The reasons that I want to do this is because I love writing music. And I love writing music because I feel like it helps me to express my story. Now, storytelling in music I just find fascinating, and there's always different kind of ways you can tell story in music. So there's a kind of story you can tell where it's just like very literal, like you read the lyrics and you understand the meaning of the story, the narrative, simply from reading the text. The kind of music that I like to write is I would say is more impressionistic kind of storytelling, where you can get some meaning of what the writer is kind of getting at from reading the lyrics, but it really is completely dependent on the musical context that it's in, the emotion that you're getting from that, the mood that it's kind of developed and created in that song, the setting. And so that's the kind of storytelling that I like, because it actually is open to interpretation as well. You can look at it and you go, I think he's saying this, but he could also be saying this, but from what I'm hearing, the way I'm feeling, it kind of leads me more to think that he's actually, saying this. So that's the way I prefer to write music. Rather than that kind of very literal approach, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different kind of genre, a different vehicle, I suppose. So what kind of story have I got to tell? When I sat down, I kind of went, okay, well, lately in my life, I've been going through this difficult kind of faith journey where it's been a hard time, it's been challenging, there's been a lot of good stuff in it, it's felt sometimes isolating, and that has been something which is actually I found it kind of seeping into all of my song lyrics, and so I've got this kind of body of works now of songs which is telling this story from multiple perspectives. And I really like that idea, that it's not just kind of one, this is what's going on, but it's actually me kind of speaking into this story and this narrative from different headspaces and different perspectives.
I can't lay down in this room tonight, my dear. There are far too many ghosts still lingering round my bed. Haunting me. find my deep. Looking out the window upon these hazy moonlit fields, watch the fall rolling in. First light sends a dead away.
The second question I ask myself is the what. And the what is really about asking myself, what is the best vehicle for telling this story? And I want to tell this story, like I said, from multiple different perspectives. So I'm not going to probably see that from one song. An entire album's worth of material, 13, 14 songs. It's just not realistic for me with the kind of, time I have and resources I have here. And so what I've kind of whittled it down to is about a 6 or 7 track EP. I have actually 6 tracks that I've definitely chosen for the EP. I've got another one which is, it tells it from a slightly more unique perspective. And each of them is like speaking into this narrative from a different headspace, like I said. And so I find that a really kind of cool way to tell this story in a more holistic kind of way. Hopefully people will find that interesting to listen to, and you kind of want to listen to all the different perspectives to get a more balanced and more complete picture of what's going on.
Flutter her wings against the wind of the storm. For all of my efforts, it still rages on. Over and under, I tumble in vain. Find myself face down in the dirt. Taste of the sweat and the blood and the earth. Oh, feels like the battle's far more than it's worth. Oh, so won't you let it shine? Oh, so won't you give me just a little more light? Just trying to see this right.
Third question has got to do with how, and this is the more practical kind of side of things, and this is where I am not particularly strong. This is not my strong suit whatsoever. But the how, what I really need to do is work out my time frame for a start. How long is it that I have to do this thing? How long am I going to give myself? I don't want this to drag on until 2029 or anything like that. And partially this was actually kind of sorted out for me by nature. I let nature dictate my time frame, in that I guess we have this looming natural disaster, you might call it, as far as audio recording goes at least, in that once we get to about October, November here in at our property, we're slightly out of town in regional New South Wales. It gets warm, gets hot, and these little insects called cicadas come out, and they just chirp and chirp and chirp all day, or buzz, or whatever that noise is that they make. It's irritating, at least, but it goes all day. And so if I'm trying to record then, the space I'm in here right now is acoustically treated, so it stops, reverberations in this space, reflections, but it is not soundproofed whatsoever. That's a completely different thing. So sound bleeds into this space like nothing else. So I really have this time frame of about 2 months to get things tracked and recorded before that, looming natural disaster kind of crashes down. And so that's actually a really helpful thing. That's become something I'm going to use for my advantage to get myself motivated, into gear, and actually sort it out. So I've got my recording and tracking done before that hits.
Then I wish upon us peace and grace. As our road goes on shallow, and our feet grow tired shallow. No right to take us home. when it's late at night and we're far from home, shalom.
And that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you next time. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear some Danish slang next video.